He thought back to the day he'd met her. He still remembered his first sight of her as she burst into the office of the bookstore where he'd been talking to Ryder. She'd been wearing a slim skirt and a pretty blouse. Her long red hair had been an untamed mass of curls around her head, and she had completely ignored him to give Ryder the business about how he was botching his courtship of Maisie. Within seconds, Kino had been 100% smitten. When he'd asked her out, she had straight up refused him. That was the moment he fell in love with her, and he'd been pining ever since. He supposed it was bad of him to use Maisie's financial troubles to get closer to Savannah. But if she was really planning to leave, he was running out of time. Also, if it helped Maisie keep her shop open, it was a good deed, no matter the motivation, right? Yeah, he wasn't going to look at it too closely. As he stepped up onto the front porch, he spun around and took Savvy's hand in his, pulling her past the family of blow-up snowmen that Ryder had put up that morning, over to the side of the porch. Since they hadn't had any snow, and the day was only in the mid-50s, the Snow family seemed a bit premature. But given that he was dressed as Santa, he couldn't really judge, now could he? "What are you doing?" she asked. She glanced up as if looking for mistletoe, and Kino grinned. He did like his women smart. "We need to talk," he said. He could hear the soft sound of Christmas music playing in the shop, and a peek through the window showed that the place was rocking. King George, the gray bookstore tabby cat, was sitting on the counter swatting a tinsel garland as if it were a snake he had caught. "What about?" "Should we say anything to Maisie or Ryder about what I overheard?" he asked. "No," she said. "We don't even know if Ryder knows that the bookstore is in trouble." Kino made a face. He didn't like withholding information from his friend. Savvy met his gaze. "I know you think you should tell him," she said. "But Maisie was talking to someone in confidence. Probably she's going to tell him on her own, in her own way. We need to stay out of it." He considered her words. "I suppose. But what if she needs help and she doesn't ask? She could be trying to shoulder all of this worry alone." "Well, someone was on the other end of that call, so someone knows," she said. "Maybe it was Ryder, and perhaps the chance to talk to them about it will come up. But in the meantime, I think we need to play it cool and just look for opportunities to help." "Fair enough," he said. He looked down at her and was struck by the earnest expression on her face. She cared. A lot. And wasn't that a heartwarming thing to see? Because he couldn't help but wonder what it would feel like to be on the receiving end of that sort of care and concern. "We need to make some plans, though. We have got to keep the foot traffic coming into this shop for the next month." "I'm already way ahead of you," she said. "I have a calendar of events for the next few weeks that will blow your beard off. I just wish—" Her voice trailed off, and Kino found himself leaning in, eager to hear what it was she wished for. "What?" She waved a dismissive hand. "Never mind. It's just a crazy idea." "Maybe crazy is exactly what we need," he said. She opened her mouth to answer him when the front door opened, and Maisie poked her head out. She had to hop up on her tiptoes to see them over the snowmen. "Hey, you two, how did it go?" "Great," Savvy said. "We ran out of candy canes, so we figured we'd come back and see how things are going here." "The BOGO idea was genius," Maisie said. "We're clearing out some inventory and bringing in cash. Do you mind taking a turn at the register? Jerry's got to get home to her kids, and I'm expecting an important phone call." "Not at all," Savannah said. She glanced at Kino and muttered under her breath, "We'll talk later." He watched as she bustled into the shop behind Maisie. Yes, they were going to talk later. He wanted to do a fist bump or a dab, but he didn't think...